And we are back with Newsgang, and we are back to Kiambu. So we looked at the voting patterns, and apart from Moses Wetangula, whose voting last night is still a subject of many discussions in this country, the rest appeared to fall in a certain pattern, Jamila, because you could see all the handshake people lined up there. But instructive was the fact that from the larger, what you'd call larger Mount Kenya region, it was difficult to see how what we've been hearing can be true, while in fact it was only the governor from Laikipia, the senator from Laikipia.
Joe, what have you been hearing?
The senator from Meru. No, I mean, like, this whole thing that it's a Tanga region. Yes. Are they voting against the wishes of their people, or was this just a totally different ballgame?
It would be interesting to know exactly what was going through their minds, because, as you said, the belief and the ile picha ilikuwa imetuonyeshwa ni kwamba the Tanga actually have gained inroads in central Kenya. But when the voting happened, and you could see how much they enjoyed it afterwards, we were seeing the footage of the senators coming out of the voting, and no one can stop reggae, and those who had lost were saying funny comments like ile pesa kidogo amepatiwa ndo inafanya kazi. You could see how much passion there was on both sides of this, those who voted for and against it. And it's interesting to see this, considering the fact that all this is political, and it's trying to show, it's trying to create those two groupings ahead of the 2022 elections. I don't know if some would say that the president's instructions or the president's attempts at trying to address the issues that are important to the people of central Kenya, when he made that speech in Mombasa about the milk and the coffee and the tea, maybe that is what is happening. I don't know, but it was actually a bit shocking to me to see that many number of central Kenya senators voting against Waititu.
Yet it is still just the senators. It might not tell you much about the ground, Linus, but still very
interesting. Different.
There's something that Francis mentioned earlier in passing, and it's a very serious statement, and that is who is in control of houses of parliament. That is the National Assembly and the Senate. This was a test moment for President Uhuru Kenyatta versus his deputy, William Ruto. Because the assumption has always been that William Ruto, the deputy president, enjoys an upper hand when it comes to who really controls the numbers in the House. The second thing that was being tested yesterday was what is the impact of the handshake, what's the impact of BBI in the political constituency that is called the Senate, because there has been a test that has already been done, especially in the last few rallies, and that is who has the majority of the governors. Mombasa, governors turned up complete with uniforms. Yeah. I didn't see whether they have numbers on the back, but they look like very nice football jerseys. Now, the battle went to the Senate yesterday, and what came out was President Uhuru Kenyatta and his newfound ally Raila Odinga won big against William Ruto. That was simple. There's something else that I noticed there, and that was, where will the Rift Valley counties vote? There are two that did not go with William Ruto, and that is Uasin Gishu, Margaret Kamar, and obviously Baringo, where Senator Gideon Moi sits. So this was a heat map. It's a political heat map, basically. It was not Waititu on trial entirely. It was politics on test. The machinery was being tested, and it worked perfectly well. I think tonight, and after last night, William Ruto and his side must be retreating to do a review of how do you approach things.
What it was just a specimen in the lab.
It was a
totally different experiment.
Honestly speaking, it was.
But I think that I've had people say that, you know, this the coalition around the handshake has tasted blood, and there's likely to be a bloodbath going on in the Houses of Parliament, that perhaps they might now want to reshuffle the leadership. There was some talk like that. I've seen some newspapers picked it up, that actually this might be the beginning of some shake-up in Parliament. I mean, right now, if you look at the leadership of the Senate, Kipchumba Murkomen, Susan Kihika, if you look at the the National Assembly. There is Adan Duale there.
Benwa
Shirley. Those are key figures there, and they are easily identifiable with the William Ruto faction of Jubilee. What do you see there, Francis, in the coming months?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a shake-up in the leadership of the two chambers of parliament, because this is also an opportunity maybe for the president to show, I mean, he's still boss in the house. But more fundamentally, what would be the consequence of such a shake-up? Because imagine a scenario where you have de-whipped Kipchumba Murkomen from the Senate. So what happens? You release him to go full throttle, you know.
But is there anything more that he can do? I mean, like, is there anything he's holding back right now? I mean,
I would think he holds quite a lot. I mean, there are quite a number of things that he wouldn't say for now because of his position. But if let loose, he would quite easily say, because he doesn't have, you know, that baggage of leadership in the house. But it sets the stage for a very serious political showdown. But I think these kind of scenarios will continue. What if there's another governor up for similar roasting by the county assembly and subsequently at the Senate, yet again to provide an opportunity to show who has the numbers? There are some serious fununus that Governor Martin Wambora could be in for another round of impeachment.
Again?
Yes.
And
there's a huge possibility.
And is this also the point at which Governor Sonko begins to prepare? Yes, because there was that thing about tukiona kichwa cha mwenzio.
When you have about 24 MCAs in Embu County Assembly talking about the possibility of impeaching their governor, yet again, out of 33 MCAs, shows you that something is cooking.
Right. And where are they talking about this?
And even in Nairobi, there's a possibility of something.
And one thing I'm hoping, Joe, and sorry, let me come in just for a minute. One thing I'm hoping will not happen is the reduction of the impeachment process into a political sport.
Yeah.
If it reaches there, we are doomed as a country. Now, there is another important impeachment going on right now, that of Donald Trump. Look at how solemn that process is. It has the politics exactly and similar to BBI versus Tangatanga versus Kieleweke. It has all those factors, but the solemnity in the House is very, very serious. The seriousness with which the charges are being taken, you can't compare it with the kind of talk that is, it's starting to sound like a hunting game. But that's not to say that there are no low-hanging fruits when it comes to utilization of this very important tool in cleaning our politics. Nairobi County, Governor Sonko has reason to get worried, because if the MCS can put themselves together and put together a very strong case, they do have very, very good grounds for impeachment. But going by last night, don't use impeachment as a political sport.
And yet, political sport is everything that we're talking about in the country now. In fact, you're talking about those 24 MCAs. I don't know if they've chosen to meet in Mombasa like most of them do.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but it looks like Mombasa is where quite a bit of the action is happening, including this now very famous line from Lucky Dube, courtesy of Raila Odinga.
Nobody can stop.
No one can stop reggae. Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody can stop reggae.